Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We're All Psychic. And yes, I still think we're all psychic. Today I'm going to talk to you about something very mysterious, magical, and mystical. It's realms. And if you don't know what I'm referring to by realms, I certainly wouldn't have a few years ago. That terminology, that term in particular, in regards to mysterious, bombastically cool, and a really mind-bending thing to think about. Realms are basically out of the way, I'll tell you how I was introduced to them. A brilliant and just wonderful psychic reader named Carluccio invited me to his broadcast channel on Instagram. And he was really good at engaging us in his conversation, in his life. And I did have 2 readings with him, and I've recorded them, and I listened to them a few times because they're just amazing. In his broadcast channel, he talked to us about realms, and I wasn't sure what it was. And basically, realms are kind of like a way to look at them is in a metaphysical and spiritual sense. It's like energetic dimensions or vibrational zones of consciousness, kind of. And each realm would have its own like frequency, purpose, and archetypal beings or guides. And where are these? I don't know, but they're just kind of, I kind of think they're all like on top of everything. Everything's on top of everything in layers of just out of sync time with each other. That's what I believe. That's just a belief system. And I do think these things exist. So, but I don't have any concept of how or why, except for the guess that it's in time, on top at the same time, kind of as us, but at a slower rate or a faster rate, where we don't always perceive it. But sometimes we do. So what realms, so to give you probably the most known realm everybody might relate to is like the angelic realm. But what Carluccio first introduced us to were 4 of many, many realms. And I have a bunch of realms to teach you about, more than just those 4. But he taught us about just these 4. So we'll start with the angelic realm, because most people have heard of the angels and the angelic realm. Or if you haven't heard of a realm, you can imagine the angels living somewhere. Because everybody, I think, who's listening to this podcast can say, I know what an angel would be. I'll tell you about the angelic realm now. So it's got the vibration is high frequency love, protection, purity. And the beings that take over the realm take over that live there. Angels, archangels, seraphim, guardian spirits. And then what the angelic realm is about, it's where divine light beings dwell. And they serve as messengers of source, as some people say. Source would be, the where we came from, the be all end all of all of us. Everything's together. A source. And this is I'd like to do a podcast about just what different ideas of what source is. Anyway, the angels, the angelic realm, their essence is unconditional love, support, and protection. Yes, and it's usually you can perceive it through feelings of like sudden peace in the middle of just you're melting down, you're just I do that good. When you're like that, suddenly you go peace. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. It's like the angelic realm touching with you. And I think a lot of healers, empaths, the ones who really feel other people's feelings and really want to fix that and emotions, especially in the heart. I think that's where like a lot of the healers, those kinds of people are drawn to this realm. So listeners, while you're listening to this, I'd love for you to think like which ones you're drawn to, which ones sound like you maybe even familiar, or like where the reason I'm getting into this is because what Carluccio said is, we traveled through these realms, or we may even be from them. So if you listen to this, think about what sounds familiar. Any of this stuff show up in your dreams, listeners, or do you feel more connected to any of these that I discuss? I would love to hear in the comments, so please do let me know. So with when you connect to this realm, the angelic realm, You can, like a lot of people you hear about, they find feathers all the time. So that's one example. And you'll see a lot of angel numbers 111, 333, 444, especially. And certain kinds of synchronicities. Sometimes you'll feel like a warmth, just like you're bundled up like Misty used to stay in some angel feathers, angel wings. And they don't do anything, like, they won't do anything as far as going against our free will, but if we ask them, they know they wanna help us. And they know our truth, but they're not gonna do anything without our asking, so they may show signs or say, "Hey, ask me." They don't say that, but they'll try to get you to think about it. That's where the signs come in. And, there can be traits associated with people who are connected to the angelic realm. So they might have a gentle but powerful presence. They may be wanting to heal people in some kind of way. They may like to pray or do sacred service. And a lot of them are called to like help others heal. They want to rescue them maybe at first, but then when they grow themselves, they just want to help others heal. And they would be sensitive to emotional pain in others, especially. And they carry, some say, light codes of compassion. So, another realm, the next realm I would like to go to is a favorite of mine, the elemental realm. So, the elemental realm's vibration is earthbound, primal, sensory. The beings of the elemental realm are nature spirits like Fae, gnomes, sylphs, undines. Undines. I think that's the fairies who live in the water. Salamanders, plant devas, animal spirits. The realm is really about the earth and Gaia. It's rooted in Gaia. And that is Gaia is like the spirit of the earth. And most people consider this the most tangible realm because you can access it through the five senses that we already agree exist. And natural environments and grounding practices can really help you get in touch with the elemental realm. The elemental beings they're like stewards of the physical world and the elements themselves, earth, air, fire, water. And they're not mythical in like who their very being, I guess you could say, but they vibrationally are just at a sensory range. It's hard to explain. If you've listened to me talk about fairies or fae or anything elemental, you know, like a tree nymph, wood nymph, you just don't. They're around all the time, just out of our view. Is what it feels like when you work with the fae or the energy of the elementals, and it's they're here, they're right here. They might be if my theory, of the time, say we're all in these different time rates. They would be the closest to ours, is what I would say. That's why we see the little elves at Christmas watching us be bad. So then we have, let's see, we're going to talk about these. Oh, yeah, I wanted to tell you, like, if you tune into this realm, you might feel like you might do nature magic. You might like nature magic, or you like really like gardening, or if you have like want the healing aspect, you might want to do herbal medicine. You're probably an animal communicator, want to be, or you think you are, but you don't believe it, or you just are, and you know all this. They can also, change the weather and heal the earth. This includes ancestral memory, primal intuition, and physical embodiment of energy. So I kind of feel like this is where the spirit kind of starts becoming material matter. It's in the in between, is what I feel like it is. So the traits of people connected to this realm would be like a strong connection to animals, nature, or weather patterns. You might just know what's happening with the weather. And I wonder about this because I feel connected to the elemental realm. And this morning, I was like, I want to go to the pool, but it's going to rain all day according to the weather. I don't think it will, though. I might go to the pool. So I did take a shower, got my preparations done, de-haired my legs, and the sun's out. And I'm like, oh, I should have done it. But I'd rather do this podcast because I love the elemental realm. They may be people connected to this realm traits. They might be sensual, and some people might be like wild and untamed, kind of energetically, like just have this wild lady kind of thing or wild man. And then they have a grounding presence at the same time. So it's like they're empathetic with, or they're empathic. I mean, with like people, plants, animals, rocks, everything. They just love all the stuff in nature. And the next realm I want to start to talk about is another one that I feel very close to. It's the star being realm. The star being realm has a vibrational, cosmic, galactic, multi-dimensional feel. And the beings of the star being realm would be like the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Lyrans, or Lyrans. I think people have corrected me there. I always want to say Lyrans. I just read it first a long time ago, Lyra. And I just like Lyra. It makes me Lyra. Syrians, and it could be in this. They are in this realm. Andromedans, and any interdimensional light beings, I guess, or some of them. Not any, maybe many. So the essence of the realm holds the energies of the soul origin for starseeds. If you don't know what a starseed is, you can listen to any of our podcasts about this stuff. But a starseed is, I'll sum it up real quick just in case you don't know, is someone who came into the earth plane in earth realm, in the earth realm. And they're from another origin of the stars. And they live a life. Or they could be DNA. Seeded the planet a long time ago, and people now have this DNA. So this is where the souls would be coming from. Now that I don't know though. I don't know. I think all souls might be the same, but we did just have a podcast, and we did talk about that. So if you were interested in souls, go listen to that one. So it's also where many souls have first incarnated, is how this is kind of thought of. And maybe they have like a mission of interstellar wisdom, helping the Earth during key shifts or something. But star beings work with crystalline grids and sacred geometry. These are things that are in our language. These are like languages, I think, and light codes. Like I think this is something that any race, like everybody will be able to connect to an alien race if they have any kind of math. We have math. You have things, you have math. You have one word for one. Stuff like that. Or a concept, too. Numbers are cool. And this realm is kind of more about frequency and knowing than form, So when you access this realm, this can be like when you're getting downloads or you have a vision. You may have heard people talk in light language. We had Stephanie talk in light language many, many moons ago on the podcast. Stephanie Dyke, and lots of people I've heard speak light language. It's just so beautiful. And if you don't know what that is, I don't either, but it's beautiful. It's when people, it kind of sounds like they're talking in tongues, but they're talking the light language, and it isn't. It's just beautiful. I don't know. It's neat. I can't do it though. Maybe I should try, but not today or right now. So you might also, time and space can feel kind of not important. And so like some people who astral travel, for example, or who channelers, and you've heard of channelers probably if you're listening to this, who channel Pleiadians and stuff like that. They channel the actual extraterrestrials wherever they may be in their dimension or planet or whatever it may happen to be existing as. And the main thing here, I think, is if you feel like homesick for a place that doesn't exist on Earth, it's kind of like that's like the key sign. Like you don't belong on Earth. I think that's why I really like the starseeds. I think I'm a starseed. That kind of thing. I really feel like I don't belong on Earth. So traits to those connected to this realm feel like they don't belong on Earth. And they're fascinated by the stars and space and technology and ancient civilizations. I love all that stuff. And they have a deep inner knowing that is like that goes beyond their education and environment or where they grew up or anyone around them. They just know stuff like somehow that they never could have known about like how things are, the way of things. And they can be sensitive to light, they can be sensitive to sounds, and any kind of frequency shifts. I really relate to that, man. I don't know, I'm on the fence about that. Anyway, another realm that this is one of the ones Carluccio taught us about. The fourth one I'm teaching you about is the wise realm. WISE, wise. The vibration is timeless, archetypal, and deeply inner. Very kind of weird. These are the catchphrases I got from ChatGPT for it. The beings associated with the wise realm are the ascended masters, sages, shamans, oracles, Akashic record keepers. So, what is the essence of this one? The wise realm. It's the realm of, excuse me, ageless wisdom. So, like great libraries, you always hear about the Akashic Records libraries, the great spiritual libraries, the inner temple. It transcends culture. I mean, it's like it contains everything to the truth. Every way to the truth is kind of how I think of it. If there is a truth, the wise realm has it. Like one all around truth about everything, the wise realm's where you go for it. So when people access the wise realm, they may get intuitive downloads, get visions. They may discover deep truths that just like, and usually in meditation, they may have dreams about and get wisdom through them and understand things in a way people can't that aren't from or have been accessing the wise realm. And they can access sacred texts. It is really about inner guidance in this realm. It's about you. No, it's about me. So, with people who are tapping into this realm, they may be like a seer or a priestess or a mystic from another time. People who like archetypes, they might be interested or be in touch with this wise realm, or astrology, numerology, tarot, any kind of psychology that's like based on spirituality, soul. Trace of those connected to people in this realm that have they're natural teachers and truth holders is kind of what you would think of them as. Like those people that just seem to know the truth. And we don't know what's the truth at all. Truth is very subjective, I think, except for what each person knows. That's just an interjection there. And now interjection. Interject out. And wisdom flows through them effortlessly is kind of how it feels when you're around them. I don't relate to this realm. I'm too silly. And they may feel old, or they feel like they were born knowing things that is just inexpressible about the existence of everything. And if people can have like vivid dreams about temples, like classy robes and scrolls and libraries that glow and books and all this kind of stuff. So that is, the wise realm. So do you associate with the wise realm? If you do, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Next, we're going to go on to, some other realms that I had not heard of, and I dug a little into the ChatGPT and asked about, what could you have? What's going on here? What's the problem? There's no problem. We're just talking about realms. So I want to tell us some more. So there is another realm called the underworld, or the shadow realm. I like to do this one after that wise realm. So the underworld, or the shadow realm, is about the deep subconscious, unresolved traumas, and soul fragmentation. If you've heard of shamans, and maybe they say that we've left pieces of our soul in other places, like other realms, other lifetimes, and they go get them. And ancestral memory. So if you've heard of, get with your ancestors, see what they did. This might be what this is. And then the beings that reside in this realm are shadow guides, ancestors. Yeah, I guess they would be there. Underworld deities. And a lot of people really relate to this that I know, because they love Hecate and Anubis. These types of shadow guides that are very powerful, and they teach you your innate wisdom. Not to your innate wisdom, but to your innate wisdom. See, I don't belong in the wise realm at all. Don't belong in this one, but I probably am. And I like those too. I like Hecate. She's helped me, and I've never spoken with Anubis, but I have worked with Horus, and I have worked with Athena. Well, she's not a shadow guide, I don't think, but maybe the deities I think are Kali. Kali would be one like that, I believe. So the shadow realm is about integrating your wounds, facing the dark truths, the truths we don't want to face, And it's all about the death rebirth cycles. And you know how I feel about that, guys. I don't like this realm. No, like, gotcha. But the main thing is it's not an evil realm. It's about truth and transformation. It's about like again truth, but it's your truth about what my truth. What do I don't want to talk about it anymore. We'll go to the dream realm. The dream realm, or the astral realm, is the space between waking and sleep, the imagination, and astral projection. So the beings of the dream realm would be your spirit guides. Oh, hey Sam, hey Morgana, hey Sky. And the imagination. Oh my gosh, I'm all about this realm. Astral projection, which if you listen, I haven't done. Well, I've done, but not like, well, I want to do it like boop, 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 boop. But, I've learned more about astral projection in the last week, and I'm thinking maybe not. I don't know. I have to think about it some more. So the beings of the dream realm would be your spirit guides, yes. Anything else? I'm trying to think. Energetic projections, kind of, or fragments of you. So this might be like, I don't think of fragments of the self. I think of like reflections. Like it's almost like a room, not even reflections. I think of like a room, like a racquetball room with just this ball just constantly going around the racquetball room. If that makes any sense. So what's the purpose of this realm is for exploring our self, or inner selves, I guess, and to heal. Because, imagination, geez, you can do anything in your imagination. And it helps us communicate with other souls. Not necessarily other beings, but souls. Interesting, right? Beings and souls. Oh, that soul podcast is still in my head. I want to talk about that some more. And then a lot of people will unconsciously visit this realm in their dreams or in their meditations. And some people do it consciously. I like the dream realm. I belong there. I just want to stay there. And then another realm we have is our Akashic realm. So the essence of this is the archive of every soul's journey. So like if you've listened to a lot, if you haven't heard of the Akashic Records or the Akashic Library, I mentioned it a few times in this podcast, but it's basically a realm where all knowledge is of every soul's journey, past, present, future. And the beings who are there, who live here in the Akashic realm, are the record keepers, the librarians, and the soul council. So the purpose of this Akashic realm is to, if you want to go there, I guess you're doing it to access soul contracts, find out about the karmic histories in your past, in your generational ancestral path, and all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff. And then bum 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 bum, your life purpose. I'm going there. That's what I want to know. And it says, it said in the Chat GPT thing, it said that it kind of overlaps with the wise realm, but it's like structured better. Next, I want to go over the ancestral realm. The ancestral realm essence is about soul lineage, genetic and energetic inheritance. And the beings associated with the ancestral realm are the ancestors, the family spirits. Oh, I love that. Family spirits. That makes me, that just, ooh, I love family spirits. I just think that every family, every soul group, it's like their spirits and entities all around them that work with them all through their everythings. It just feels that way to me. I love that. And there's also cultural guides, and I'm not really sure what they're about. Because you'll have to go to the ancestral realm and ask, hey, cultural guides, what do you do? I guess it's like the culture the people are from as a spirit, you know? Like the ancestral realm is here to heal inherited trauma, reclaim personal power, and kind of this is like what I read was spiritual DNA work. And that's kind of interesting because if you listen to the podcast, you know a lot of the guests have talked to me about my syndrome, which is genetic, and they talk about different ways to change your DNA, and maybe this is where you would do that. So it's distinct from the general spirit guide work here because this is about blood and belonging. This is about your peeps, spiritual and otherwise. The next realm I want to go over is soul origin realms. So this is where a soul was born before Earth. And the beings there are your soul families, your original soul fragments, and current source currents. I don't understand this stuff. So apparently I'm not from the soul origin realm, or I just don't know these terms or what these things are. But the purpose is remembering your soul purpose, regathering fragments if you've lost parts of yourself or given them up, and activating a mission. So if you have a mission, you may go to the soul origin realm or touch base with it and activate your mission. Maybe you're bored and you're ready. And then star beings often originate here, but these realms can be just energetic or conceptual. The next one I want to go over is the temple realm or the inner sanctuary. The temple realm or the inner sanctuary, the essence of it is personalized sacred space, often built over time through spiritual practice. I love this because I do believe people have their places, and these are the places, maybe with this temple realm, the inner sanctuary realm, is where I have gone when I was in trance sometimes and seen what I would call people's quote unquote places. And I would travel in a trance with Sam and my spirit cat, the gray spirit cat, who is in my life right now, Gandalf. And we would go to these places, and they are different to everybody. And when I would describe them to people, they recognize them somehow from a dream or having been there or making it up in their head, where they would just go and be. So the beings are the highest self, and they are deity representations can be there. And personal archetypes. So it's like what I believe in as an archetype would be the lover. The lover. That's an archetype, right? He's going to come save me from me. So the realm, it's about sacred ceremony, like direct communication with spirit, source spirit, that kind of thing. And this is when you take that first step into becoming yourself, who you are right now and later. It's kind of all confusing, very conceptual. And the realm may look like a temple, a cave, a tree, a room, and it's in your inner world, and you can go anytime at will. So I think this is the kind of the places I used to see, and I do have a place I go to. I'll tell you about it, and it's in my imagination. It's been there for all of my life, and it's on top of a mountain. And then it has a mountain, straight rock cliff going. It's a straight rock cliff mountain. I don't know how to describe it. You know what I'll do, listeners? I will make that the cover somehow of this podcast. I don't know. If I don't do it and it doesn't look like mountain cliff, I didn't get it done. But that's what I'll try to do. Because this place is like, oh, I loved it. And that's where I started writing all my books. I start in that place, and then I'd go from there. Just in my imagination. I love it there. And then it's just wonderful. So I want to talk about the mythic or archetypal realm. So this is where the stories live. This is where our mythology lives, you know? And our symbols, what they mean, the collective unconscious knowledge of these things, the archetypes. And the beings that live there, oh yeah, those dragons. We got the dragons there. And we have the gods and the goddesses. animal totems, heroes, tricksters, like oh Loki. So then the whole idea is with the mythic or archetypal realm is that through this realm we can transform psychologically, we can transcend our ego, and we get to make the myths. We get to make stories. I love the stories. And it says in this ChatGPT, I made a note of this one. It said, Jung's collective unconsciousness echoes this realm. Tarot and astrology draw from here. And this is a mythic realm, archetypal realm. The next realm I want to go over is the celestial realm, or the divine realm. The essence of this realm is that it's in the highest vibrational planes, beyond duality even. It's like, duality is kind of what makes time work, I think. Maybe. Anyways, I was like, but it's a little bit of a high vibe. High vibe, guys. High vibe. That's why I'm getting sped up. So the beings there, well, if source is a being, it's there. And pure light beings, made of light, no shadows, and divine consciousness. And to connect with this realm, the purpose would be to merge with oneness and enlightenment. This is a realm of enlightenment and surrendering your individuality, ego, not your individuality, but your personal ego. You want to get in that whole bit and be connected. So some mystics and monks will say this realm is a place of no identity, just being. So you're just kind of existing in time without time, maybe, or something. I love it. Then we got good old fairy realm. It's kind of like the elemental, parallel to the elemental realm, but it's a little bit wilder. This is where the fairies and the trickster spirits and the nature spirits, so they be the beings. They're the beings. They be there. The fairies, trickster spirit. Oh, they got a leprechaun. He's a trickster spirit, I think. He's got all that gold and he's not sharing. So the purpose of tapping into the fairy realm would be for enchantment, creativity, and to either cause some chaos or stop it, order, balance. And it can be unpredictable. So it teaches you and me and all of us through paradox and play. They do love to play, those fairies. So next realm I want to talk about is the realm of initiation and trial, or the trial realm. The essence of this realm is that it's the temporary space of soul crisis or challenge. And the beings there are teachers in disguise, tests, and inner dragons. Those sound terrifying, but that's where you get your empowerment. So that's what they're teaching you. Empowerment, maybe. And then the purpose is growth, surrender, rebirth. So it is about that. It's called kinds of things to just evolve. And some people don't recognize it as a realm until you emerge from it changed by it. So we have those are all the realms I wanted to talk about today, and I just want to know, listeners and watchers. I always say watchers, just listeners. You just know the watchers, unless you're remote viewing me in the past. You could be, or the future. I guess you could listen to this in the past and be, I don't know. The realms make you expansively think. And I'm not that expansive of a thinker, but I do like to word a lot and sound like I think expansively. Just saying the word expansive makes you feel expanded. Expanded isn't as cool of a word as expansive, though. And listeners, I really would love to thank my sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app and website, and you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And you deserve it. Everclear is wonderful. I love Everclear. Everclear.com website, and the app is Advice App, Everclear Advice App, EV Advice App. And you can go directly to their website from our website, http://www.we'reallpsychic.com. And we love them. Everybody loves them. We, as in all my realm guides and spirits that came to help us with this podcast. I do feel them. And I thank you guides and realm folk. Thank you. And listeners, I love you. Thank you for always listening. I can't stand how much I want to meet all of you. How are we going to do this? We must go to a realm together. We'll figure out which realm. And please, if you want to leave a comment on which realm you associate with, maybe, or I'll make a poll. That'll make it easier. You won't have to write anything. You'll click, click, click if you want to. And thank you so much, guys, for always listening and being there. I love you to death and peace out. Mwah. Bye.